So we will start with the life processes fourth part, the transportation. The transport system in humans. In this we will read about the need for the transport system, the transportation in human. In that we will read here about blood vascular system. The blood vascular system which consists of the blood vessels and the heart. From the blood we will read the composition of blood, its function and blood clotting, blood vessels, arteries, veins and capillaries, and the heart we will read about its structure, the double circulation and the cardiac cycle. First of all, why do we need a circulatory system? The unicellular organisms which are single-celled, their whole cell is in contact with the external environment. Hence, through simple diffusion, the materials can be transported in and out towards from the environment and into the body, and from the body into the environment, and also by diffusion only it is transported in the whole cell. But in multicellular organisms, sometimes the multicellular organisms are so big that many cells of their body are not in direct contact with the environment, and to reach the material by diffusion from the environment to the cells will take a lot of time. It may take years. Hence, diffusion alone is not enough to bring the materials into these cells. So there is a need of circulatory system, a pipe system which will carry the materials to different parts of the body, whichever is needed. In human, the circulatory system transports blood to and from all the parts of the body. Thus, it functionally connects the aqueous environment of the body cells to the organs specialized for exchanging gases, absorbing nutrients and disposing wastes. That means the whole body is in connection with the organs which bring gases, which provides nutrients, and which helps in removal of waste because of this transport system. Then coming to the human circulatory system, it consists of the blood vascular system and the lymphatic system. In this section of my video, I will talk about blood vascular system. So the blood vascular system, which is also known as the blood circulatory system, it consists of three main parts: the heart, the blood vessels and the blood. The heart is an organ which pumps the blood around the body. The blood is a liquid which is being pumped into the whole body, which carries various material to various parts of our body, and this blood runs inside some tubes. These tubes, or the network of tubes, are called blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels that carry their functions. So these three types of blood vessels are arteries, veins and capillaries. So first of all, what is blood? And blood is a viscous liquid that flows inside the arteries, veins and capillaries. So this blood, it transports oxygen. First of all, we will read about the functions of blood. The blood is a motile reddish colored fluid that circulates in the blood vessels, and it supports the nutrients. It supplies the nutrients and oxygen to all the living cells, and it removes waste products and carbon dioxide from them. It has two main components that we will read later. So what are the main functions of blood? Transports oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the whole body, carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. That means it carries the gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, to and from the various cells of the body. Transports nutrients, hormones and antibodies throughout the body. So wherever needed, nutrients are supplied, hormones are supplied and antibodies are supplied. It transports the waste products away from the cells to the organs of excretory system. So waste products are removed from the body and brought into the organs of excretory system. Then the functions of the blood we will continue by. Next is that it regulates the body pH. pH means the acidity and basicity of our body is maintained by blood. The body temperature is also maintained by blood. The water content of the cell, how much water is required, that is also maintained by our blood. Then it protects us from excessive blood loss in an injury through blood clots. Through the mechanism of blood clotting, excessive blood loss is prevented from diseases and helps us to fight infection. So these are the various functions of the blood. Then how does the blood look inside? When we look it into the microscope, when we see a smear of blood under the microscope, we can see this concave shaped red blood cells, we can see larger amoeboid white blood cells, and we can see the plasma. So coming to the human blood composition, the blood consists of plasma, that is a liquid part. The blood cells, that is a solid part. And this blood cells also includes these blood fragments. So blood cells include red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Now talking about the plasma, it makes 55% of the blood by volume. That means our blood's 55% is watery, and the other 45% consists of the solid part, that is the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So the first of all, plasma, it is yellow. When we filter away the red cells from the blood, the yellow colored liquid which is left is the plasma. This contains 90% water, and 10% of plasma includes nutrients, proteins, and inorganic salts. These nutrients are the glucose, amino acids, and vitamins. The proteins are the antibodies, the hormones, enzymes, albumins, fibrinogen, etc. Inorganic ions which are needed by various parts of the body, these are very necessary: sodium, calcium, chlorides, and phosphates. Then the main functions of the plasma is to transport the nutrients, to remove waste products from the tissues, to distribute hormones, enzymes, to distribute heat, energy from the liver, etc. Then red blood cells. Talking about the red blood cells, they are biconcave disc-shaped cells without nucleus. You can see their shape, they look like this. So these are the carriers of the oxygen. They transport oxygen from the lungs to other body parts. It contains a red pigment called hemoglobin, which combines with oxygen to produce oxyhemoglobin. It carries carbon dioxide from the body cells to the lungs. This blood carries carbon dioxide from the body cells to the lungs. So what happens, this hemoglobin, it's a red pigment which gives coloring to the red blood cells, you can say. So this hemoglobin, it is an iron pigment. It contains a iron part, and a globin is a protein part. Hem means iron, globin means protein. So this iron pigment, it combines with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Now this oxyhemoglobin is transported through the blood to each and every part of the cell wherever oxygen is required. When it reaches the cell, this oxygen is released from the hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin goes back to the lungs to bring more oxygen. Okay, so they also carry carbon dioxide from the body cells to the lungs. RBCs are produced in the bone marrows. This RBCs production, and it's 120 days its lifespan. When the RBCs are worn out, they are destroyed in the liver and spleen. Then come to the white blood cells. The white blood cells are larger than the RBCs, and they each have a nucleus. So they are all having nucleus. You can see the lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils. This all we have read in 9th class. Usually irregular in shape, colorless, and do not contain a hemoglobin. Then they are also produced in the bone marrows. The lifespan of WBC depends on the type of WBC. It varies from a few hours to a few months. It plays a vital role in body's defense. So it protects us from the foreign bodies, from microbes. WBCs can squeeze through the walls of blood capillaries because they are amoeboid in nature. They can change the shape of their cells among the cells. Okay, and they can destroy the bacteria. Talking about the platelets play an important role in blood clotting. They are the minute cell like pieces of you can say crystals. They look like crystals or pieces. So then these blood groups are there. ABO system of blood group, in which there is A, B, AB, and O. So during transfusion, donor's blood must be compatible with the recipient's blood. When an incompatible type of blood is transfused, RBC of the donated blood will agglutinate and cause fatal blockage in recipient's blood vessels. That means if here you can see that the donor's blood may be O, A, B, and AB. Recipient's blood may be again O, A, B, and AB. Out of it, O can give blood to everyone. It is a donor. It is an universal donor. And AB can take blood from everyone. You can see here recipients AB can take blood, yellow colored, can take blood from everyone. Some O also from A, also from B, and from AB. So it is called universal recipient. Whereas A can take blood only from O and A. B can take blood from B and O, and that much. So coming to blood group O is called universal donor, and blood group AB is called universal recipient. So what is blood clotting? We have read that it's a function. Blood protects us from clotting. What happens actually when there is a here you can see that some of the vessels are injured, and then blood flows of our body. If these blood vessels remain open, then what will happen? All the blood will flow out because the heart is pumping the blood and there is a leakage in that pump. So that when there will be a leakage, all the blood will flow out of the body. So it will be fatal for us. So there should be a mechanism for clotting the blood. That means stopping the blood from going out of our body. What happens whenever there is a wound formed in the skin? Whenever there is a wound formed in our skin, then the platelets gather in that part and make it sticky. So at that time, and there is a temporary plug. Okay, then these platelets, they produce a protein called thrombokinase. This thrombokinase or the prothrombin, thromboplastin or thrombokinase. This thromboplastin converts prothrombin into thrombin. Prothrombin is an inactive part and thrombin becomes active when thrombokinase acts on it. So this thrombin, it turns fibrinogen into fibrin. Now fibrin are fiber types. This forms a network of on the broken blood vessel, and it hardens and forms a clot. So this is a mechanism of clot formation. So here you can see I have written it in parts. First of all, prothrombin will turn into thrombin. But prothrombin needs iron calcium to convert it to thrombin. Then the thrombin converts the fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin. Fibrin forms a thread of clot, and a mesh-like network traps the red blood cells together, forming a blood clot. Then coming to characteristics of the circulatory system. It should contain blood. It should contain a circulating fluid. It should contain a pumping device, that is heart. It should contain blood vessels, and there should be valves for control of the flow of the blood. Then human circulatory system is a closed circulatory system. That means it is inside the pipes. It is not open one. It is not inside the body fluid. It is not filled in the body, but it is inside the pipes. So that a human circulatory system. Okay. So the direction of the flow of blood is heart pumps the blood into the arteries. From the arteries it goes into the capillaries. From the capillaries into the veins. That means the arteries, capillaries give it to the whole body. Then from them it is collected by the veins. From the veins it is back to the heart. Here backflow of the blood does not occur because of the presence of valves. First of all, we will talk about the arteries. Arteries receive blood directly from the heart. They are also tubes. They receive blood. That means they take the blood away from the heart into the various parts of the body. The flow of blood in them is very high. Their walls are thick and muscular, and I will show you the picture of an artery here. You can see the walls of this artery are very thick. It contains thick muscular elastic walls, and the lumen, because of this thick muscular elastic walls, the lumen contracts and expands because of these elastic walls. In the veins, the blood is carried away from the heart, towards the heart, and the blood pressure here is low. Blood flows very smoothly. Thin layers of wall and elastic tissues are found, but not so elastic. They have internal valves because of to stop the backflow of blood. Waste products are brought back to the heart when capillaries join to form venules. So these are formed from venules. Then coming to the artery versus vein. The vein is here blue colored. They have thin walls with valves, and artery has thick walls without valves and elastic walls. Then the capillaries. Capillaries are single membrane structures. They have only one cell thick. They exchange materials between the blood and other blood cells. So comparison of arteries, veins and capillaries. The cross section is given here. The size of the lumen. Lumen means the hole inside that cylinder. Small, big and small. Thickness of the wall, muscular and elastic walls thick, and the veins have thin muscular walls, less elastic. Capillaries have only one cell thick. Valves are present only in the veins. The blood flow fast and under very high pressure in the artery because it is in high pressure because it has to pump blood to whole body. Whereas veins, it is under very low pressure, and in capillaries slow and low pressure. Color of blood in the artery is red in contain because it contains oxygenated blood. Only pulmonary artery does not. Then veins have dark blood and capillaries have bright red. Okay, functions is that it carries blood away from the heart. That is why it is called artery. Vein carries blood towards the heart. so it is called a vein. And this capillaries connect arteries and veins, and here in the arteries only exchange of substances occur, in the capillaries. Then location of the artery is that it is deeply situated, they are superficially situated, and they are inside all tissues. Talking about the human heart, it has 4 chambers and 2 large chambers. Rest we will talk about in the next part. Thank you.